What's up, people? I trust you're doing fantastic. I'm super excited to show you how to create this kind of renders in SketchUp and V-Ray step by step for free. And when you look at this image, it's not a full kitchen model. The idea is to show you how light interacts within the model to create photorealism. So that is what I'm going to be showing you, and by the end of this tutorial you'll be able to know how to create something as distinct and unique as this in all of your renders photorealistically. Yeah, let's take a ride. So the first step to creating this kind of render is by modeling. That's the very first step. From here, you notice that we have a floor, we have the walls. These are very critical. We have the walls, we have the ceiling that has the interior lights, and then we have the cabinets. These are the basics of this model. So that is what we're going to start with. So I would start I'll start by creating the floor. I use the rectangle tool. Let me say, okay, I'll just give anything for now, and then we can adjust the settings. We can adjust the length or the dimensions later. What am I saying? I need to create I'll start by creating the cabinets. These are the base cabinet underneath. Okay, first of all, I'll group my floor. I'll click to get all the sides of the floor, and then I make it a group. The reason why I do this is because so that when I start modeling on top of this floor, like the base of the cabinet, it doesn't add on the floor. There's some kind of separation. Yeah. So I've made the floor, which can be adjusted, which is going to be adjusted later. And I'm going to start modeling the cabinet, the base of the cabinet. So I think okay, I'll use the line tool. I'm going to give it a depth of normally cabinets have depth of about 600 millimeters, but when we look at the image, we see that there's some it's not up to 600 millimeters, right? So I'll be giving it maybe around 450 millimeters to carry the cabinet. I'm using millimeter because that is the unit of measurements that I am most comfortable with. So I'm going to group it also. It's now a group, and then I can bring it up. Usually the height of the base should be around from 75 millimeters to 100 millimeters, but I'm going to give it 75 millimeters for now. Yeah. So that's our base. That's our base. I'm going to copy it. I will try to edit it, and so usually from the floor to the top of the base cabinet. From the floor to the top of this cabinet here, the tabletop, we can usually maybe around 750 millimeters to about 800 millimeters. It depends. It depends. So, but I'm gonna give it from the floor here to this tabletop. I'm gonna give it 750. So I have this base already at 75 millimeters. So I just need to add extra 675. So let me be sure. I want to be sure that that's now the depth of this cabinet usually should be 600 millimeters or 0.6 meters. Yeah. So right now I'm having 450, which is based off the base of the cabinet underneath. So this is 450. So I have to I'm trying to make it 600. So I'm creating a guideline to help me with that. 600, and then I try to bring it forward. Yeah, this is it. So I'll verify again. Yeah, 600 right now. So this cabinet is set. When you look at this cabinet, most of the time, to be able to show that what we are doing is going to be photorealistic, one thing to look at is the gaps or the spaces at the sides and in between the cabinets, right? Look at the top cabinet, same thing. The bottom cabinet has those fissures or those cracks, so to say, those linear cracks, which is usually for opening of the cabinets. So I'm going to try to represent it here. If I use a single line, let's say if I draw a line to try to represent it on SketchUp or V-Ray, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to represent it because when I try to render, SketchUp and V-Ray would not recognize that this is a crack or this is an opening. It doesn't recognize that. It's going to in fact, it's not going to recognize as anything. You will see that when it's rendered, it's going to come out as a plain surface, a flat surface without any crack or fissure. So it's something that we have to put into consideration to achieve what we want to achieve. Now I will start from the sides here. Between the wall and the cabinet, there's a little opening here, and I'm going to represent it here. Edit group. So I would maybe give a 6 millimeter gap or a 6.5 millimeter gap. 6 millimeter gap is fine. 6. That's fine. And then I'll start to do others. Yeah. So from here to here, I want to do the first opening. The width of each opening should be about, some people do 500 millimeters, which is 0.5 meters, but I'm comfortable doing 2 feet, which is 0.6 meters or 600 millimeter. Yeah, that's it. And I want to create that opening. I will make it 6 mm. Yeah, that's it. So from here, I'm gonna do another 600 mm. Create the gap again for the second one. Do another 600 mm. That's what we're gonna do to the end. 6 mm. Create another 600 mm. 6 mm. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it remains 1. 600. And then, and that's 6 millimeters. So we'll try to move this to line up with our last cabinet unit here. So this is where it stops us at. This line here, this guide is in between the cabinet and the wall. So we are going to represent it with that also, in between the cabinet and the wall. So we are create a line. Yeah, remember we just did guides, right? So these guides are not line in any way. They are not model component. They're just model helpers to help us know how to, as a guide for proper measurement and dimensioning. So, but these lines help us to really say, okay, this is what we are doing, or this is where our shapes are going to be at. So I'll just try to copy and paste them by moving them visually. I press the Control key to be able to move them as they should. Same also here. See, when I press the Control key, it doubles. So I'll do so at this other side for the last one. Yeah. So I think that I can now delete these guides because I've used them for what I want to use them. They have exceeded their use. So I'm going to start to create depths inside of this. So let's say I want to go deep by 7, just to show it more when we render, or maybe 5 mm, 7 mm, 6 mm. It depends on you were trying to show the depth and how SketchUp and V-Ray reads our modeling and drawing, right? So I'm gonna make it 7 mm. Yeah, 7 mm. See that it's showing, it's looking more realistic, right? 7 mm. Double click. When you double click with the push pull button, it works the same way it works previously. Yeah, exactly. Yes, so we have been able to create something fantastic. I need to delete every guide. Yeah, so this is it. I want to create a guide from this tabletop. I want to create a guide for this tabletop, a measurement guide for this tabletop to the base to the bottom of this upper cabinet here. And what do? I'm going to create another guide about 600 millimeters or 0.6 meter. That shows the starting point of the upper cabinet. And what am I going to do? I'm going to copy and paste it also. So it makes our stuff very fast to deal with, to handle. Sorry, I'll copy it with this other one. I copy with the other one because it's easy to lock. It's easy to lock it up, because at the point of intersection, it's easy to place the copy here. Now I press my control key, the control key button. The moment I click on it, just watch. The moment I click on it, you see that the duplicate stays above. Right now, there's nothing on the right because I haven't clicked on the control button. So now watch me. I click on the control button, automatically there is a duplicate, a copy made. And that's it. I've created the upper cabinet. Now there's something that we're going to do. Just watch out and see. Just wait and see. Now, okay, but let me, before we go to do that, let me work on this base. Edit group. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to, oh, I forgot. I was not supposed to erase. Okay. There's one here. This depth, we need to know where exactly it is at. .6 or 0.6 mm. So 0.6 meter or 6 millimeters. This is it. If you're in doubt, you can always try to verify from here. 6 mm. You check, always check here at the bottom right corner. You can check for any measurement. You look at the bottom right corner, you can check for any measurement of what you're trying to do. So this is it. I've created it so that this is where we are going to place our base. Our base is going to be located at this second guide. It doesn't flush at the tip or at the bottom of the cabinet. No, it flushes rather about 6 millimeters before the cabinet. Yeah, so that we'll be able to create what we are looking for here. We're able to create something close to this image here. So now I go into this, I did the group, and I push the 2 to the guide. You see, it's easy, very easy. And now you see the distance difference, right? Now the wall comes here, and then it's created here. So this is it. We have achieved what we're looking for. Now the next thing we want to do for photorealism is this. For this top, usually the top cabinet in most kitchens, I think this is a design standard for most kitchens, because they are at the top, so they usually do not have double support. You know what I mean? At the top here, the only support that these cabinets have are the walls. The walls at the back here, the walls. But for the bottom cabinet, most of the time they have a depth of 600 millimeters because they have a base support, and also they have the support of the wall. So you have double support for them. But the top here, it can be quite dangerous to have a larger depth for them because they could easily fall off. If the support is not that strong, they could readily fall off. So what we're going to do here is, to try to achieve that, we're going to lessen the width, or lessen the depth of this cabinet. Now we have it at 600, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at the right hand corner, bottom right, 600 millimeters. Now we want to make it 450. Sometimes some people make it 300, but I'll make it 350. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to use the guide. 350. And then I try to go back, flushing with this. No, sorry. You see something. So you double click it. Same thing we'll do here. Double click. It happens same way. Double click, same way. Double click, same way again. Yeah, that's it. So we have double click and we see that now we are getting close to what we want. So we have gotten our cabinets. What do we need next? We have our floor, which are gonna we are gonna we are gonna change the dimension soon. Now the next thing to do is we are gonna work on our ceiling. We're gonna work on our walls. Those are the next things to do. So before we go to the ceiling and the walls, we are gonna work on the floors. And what do? I did this group. Very, very important to make things into group right from time, because it's gonna be easy to put them into tags. Then you can decide to make them you can decide to turn on or off. Their visibility. If you want them to be visible, you can easily turn them on. If you want them to be not visible, you can easily turn them off. Very, very easy as that, so that modeling gets sweeter for you. So this is it, and then I've clicked on the edge, and then I'm gonna use the move tool, then use the red. Okay, I'll try to the bottom here, the base, and this is it. And then move tool again, try to move it. I'll leave it at this point. It's something like this. Yes. So now, for us to be able to create our walls, I would copy and paste this down. The move key, I'll go down. Now I'll press the control key. I've created a copy. This is for the floor. I'm going to tag it, put it into the right hand corner. I want to put it in a tag already, so I can turn it off or on. That's the floor. I want to turn it off. For this, I'm going to tag it in a base cabinet or a bottom cabinet. Yeah. Then I can put it off. For this, I want to put it in the top cabinet. Our cabinet top, right? And then you can put it off. Same also with this. I want to put it in a tag. Cabinet base. Yeah, put it off also. So what I want to do here is to simply create an offset, right? Of maybe a 150 millimeters thick wall. Now the reason why I have done this, like I made a copy of our floor, is so that I'll be able to create a wall. The floor, the dimension for the floor is already known, so to speak. The outline, so to speak, like, okay, let me show it here. The outline for the floor is already known, so it makes more sense to just make the wall around this floor, and then our wall is created, our walls are created. So that is the reason why I'm doing this. So what I do next is I'm going to delete this, take it out. Then this is the basis for our wall is created already. What do? I go out of it. This is already grouped for walls. I tag it, put it in a wall group. Okay, I put on the floor, and then I take it up. I move it up again, so it stays there. And then I bring up my base cabinet, the base, and the bottom cabinet. Yeah. So what do I do here? I try to take it up. I'll take it up by 2.7 meters or 2,700 millimeters. That's it. See, it's grouped walls. So if I take off my wall, yeah, I have my floor too. Bring up my cabinet top. See that everything is making sense now. See what I mean? Okay, let me just put a camera here. I'll save it as my first scene. Okay. I'll just create to create my ceiling. The next stage is to create a ceiling, which is very easy to do. I put on I want to create a rectangle, so I just press my letter R. I click on this point here. Rectangle has 4 points, right? Click on this point or a square, any of them. This is the second point. I don't click on it, but I'm just showing you. This is the top. So I go diagonally, and once I click on it at this point, the rectangle is created, the ceiling is created. So if I take the scene, if I go to the first scene, this is what I'm having. So you see that we are getting very close to creating what we have at hand. 2,700. I think our walls should be reduced a little bit to maybe 2,400. And then this should follow suit. Move to yeah, it's looking okay. So these are this is a guide. I want to delete it. This is a guide. The reason why it's highlighting this cabinet is because the guide was drawn inside of the cabinet group. So I'll go into the group, edit it, click on the guide. It's easy to click on right now, and then I edit it, and then I escape out of it. Very easy, very, very easy. So I go out of my model. Update this. Okay. So when we look at this image, what do we notice? We notice that there seems to be some kind of light source from the left-hand corner of this wall, of this room. There seems to be some kind of light source. Why do I say so? When you look straight at this wall, you see that it's brighter. Like this wall over to this side, over to this part of the floor is quite bright. So one thing in photorealism is that you should be able to see, like your eyes should be able to pick up dark, light, shade. Very, very important. When you look at under this cabinet, you see that it has some kind of maybe LED lighting, which we are also going to model and show in render. It has some kind of LED. You see the lighting coming up on the tabletop here. You know, see that here is a little bit shaded. There's some kind of shade going on here. Now you see that here you see this line. You see this line. There's some kind of shade here, and then it shows that this area is somewhat illuminated, maybe from diffused light, and it means that there is some kind of light from this end that is pouring out over to this place, over to this area, down to the, you see here is a little bit darker. Here is dark, this area is dark, this area is dark. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a window at this point, at this area of the wall. I'm going to create a window that would at least mimic what is happening here. Let's go back into the model. Okay. So, let's go into the model. Okay, this is our scene. I need to create a better view. Looking at this model already, I'm seeing that it seems the width of this cabinet were as 500 or 550, because they seem to be slimmer, or they seem to be thinner compared to my cabinet here. Here I was trying to follow global design standards, but here it seemed, maybe for illustration purposes, they made it 550, or maybe it was according to the desire of the client. You could see some little differences here. You see that inside of our model here, it's appearing as though it's broader or wider as compared to this image, but that's not a problem. We're going to still continue with what we're doing. So the main point here is to show you how you can achieve something like this, and I'm excited to do that. So yeah, we're going to create something at this left side. I think it's easier. Yeah, it's better to do it outside here. So what do? I would go into this group, take my rectangle tool. Let me use a guide also. Maybe I'll make here 300. Okay, make my wall about let's say 1200. That's 1.2 meters. Let's give it from beneath 300. All these are based on just guesses. Another 300 here. So now I can draw my rectangle from that top, on the tip diagonally again. Here you click again, the rectangle is drawn. So I can now delete my guides again. So I have this. So now, sorry. Yes. So when you look at it now, you see that a window is created, and therefore light is coming at this end. Now we can play with this sunshine that is coming, giving it different time of the day. You see, we're able to do this. I like what is happening here. I really do, because from what our picture here, we see that this right hand side of the image is kind of lightened. So if we're able to bring the sun over to this point, then it means that we are doing something fantastic. I'll update it, and then I'll go back. I want to rework. I want to move the window a little bit closer to the cabinet area. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move. Okay. Yeah. So what do we have here? For the camera, I want it to be 2-point perspective. Yeah. You want to shift it to this side. Yeah, so I'm looking at, you see, I'm able to look at how the light is moving. I see how it's getting closer to the, from here it gets closer to the cabinet, but I don't want it to be too close. I want it to be somewhere around here like this. Yeah, exactly. And ensuring that I do not distort my model. So I go back into scene 1 and try to see if I can get the light to come up a little. I don't know if it's possible. Okay, this looks good. I think I'm okay with this. I'm gonna click on save to save every changes we've made so far, and then escape. So what am I going to do here? Let's not forget that every opening, at least a door or a window, had some kind of some glass material, some window, right? It's not just, we don't have our houses or our spaces just opened up like this, except maybe we designed them to be like that. But in this case, we would like to put a glass plane, not something fancy, something very simple. And a rectangle also is gonna represent this. I go to the tip. I've clicked on my R, letter R, like this. Then I go to the tip, also to the other angle, and you see my outline is showing red. I click on it, and then my window glass is created. And as usual, I put it into a group, group it, and make group. I go into the group. What do I want to do? I want to give it a material. I think I would like to give it a glass material to represent what we are doing. Why is my okay? So this is a V-Ray asset editor area. This is the material light, and other tabs. So I'll go to my material. I want to create, or instead of creating a new glass material, let me just go into V-Ray. So these are where V-Ray materials are domiciled, and I'm going to look for glass. Yeah, this is glass. I have glass here. And when you look at the names, glass bumpy 2, no. Coated green, glass coated, no. I want something very simple. Not glass frosted, no. I want something very simple. Yeah, I've seen one. Glass window neutral. I can click on add to scene. It comes here, and then because I had already selected, see, I had already selected the window material already. Yeah, the glass material, what I wanted to make as a glass material, I selected the face already. I can then decide to add to selection. The moment I click on add to selection, you see what happens? It became transparent like a glass because it's a glass material. Now I go out of this point, and then let's not forget that that glasses also have thickness. Depending on the kind of glass that is used, or that whatever function or purpose, each glass have a thickness. Every glass you see has a thickness, no matter how thin they are. So, but for here, maybe I would like to just give my glass a thickness of, maybe it can range from 2 millimeters to 5. I'm going to give my glass, or 10 millimeters or whatever. I'm going to give my glass maybe a millimeter of 7.5. This is just for illustration purpose. It's not a standard. 7.5 millimeters. And what do? I click on the push pull button. I've clicked on it, and then I click on trying to push pull it. Yeah, I type on what I want, 7.5. You see, that's it. That's the thickness. The thickness is here now. My glass now has a thickness. So this is amazing, very, very amazing. How we can, create something out of nothing. And I'm so fascinated about this. So we have created the floors, we have created the walls, our cabinets are set. The things that we have not created are now our lighting. So I'm going to go to create our lighting feature, and then we can now start adding light to our scene. And I hope you're having a good time. Now, let me go to creating our lights. What do I do now? We have our lights here at the ceiling top, right? Now, because I don't want any inconvenience as I'm trying to navigate the scene, I'm going to hide or make the floor to be not visible. The floor should not be. Okay, it's gone. The floor should not be visible. The walls also. Yes. So we now have our ceiling and our cabinet. I left the cabinet because I need some sort of guide while I am designing. From here, I see that we have 3 light fixtures here. One seems to be at the center of this cabinet. The second one seems to be aligned to the center of the cabinet. The third one, the same thing. These are things that you have to observe. Now, as at where they stay, maybe they stay a line here, maybe it's around here, a little bit out. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go inside of this. I'm gonna make some guide, something like 500. No, 500. Does it look like 500? Okay. Maybe 450 or 400. I'll go to the other side. I'll make it 400 also. You know what? Let's make it a 500 each. 500. Oh, sorry, 400. 400 seems to be closer to the center of the cabinet. Yeah, see? It's close to the center of the cabinet. 400. This is perspective view, right? Another 400. Now I try to see what is the distance from here to here. And I see that the distance is 2,236, which is the middle is divided by 2, 1118. 1118. So I'm going to create a 118 guide, a distance guide. 118. No. Yes. That's at the center. You see that it's at the center of this cabinet also. At the center of this cabinet also. Light feature. Now I'll try to see where this wall, at the tip of this wall here to where these lights are, could be 2,000 or 2 meters. I'll make it maybe 2 meters or maybe 1.5 meters. Yeah, I'll make it 1.5 meters. And now we have something to work with, right? So I'm gonna press to start making the model for the lights. I press my arrow key for rectangle. After doing that, I press the C key. Or I press the C key straight away. And I'll just quickly check. Maybe I'll just make it. Just give it a radius of. 35 millimeters. Yeah. Something I'm gonna do here. 35. Something I'm gonna do here. 35. Now you see that our shapes have been created for our lights. I click on this, pull it inside. You see, when you look at this image, you see that it has an outline that is dark, which also has a depth. You know, this seems to be it's like the container for the light. You know, and then the depth inside of the ceiling, which contains the light, the material when it's lighted, is at this white area here. So it's something like that we're going to try to replicate. So there's something I want to do first of all. The segment here, when you look at it here, the segment, there's something about SketchUp. When a material doesn't have enough segments, or enough polygons, it might not be as smooth as, you know, to show how realistic it is. You know, when we have it in our scenes, it doesn't appear to be realistic. Now it shows 24 segments. Now I want to make it smoother, and you can see with that, there are different points here representing segments, right? Now I want to be able to increase segments to make it smoother. Let's say I'll increase the segments to maybe 75. You see, it's now well-rounded. These things are things that make your model to appear at least as photorealistic as it can be. 75 also. See it? Another 75, and that's it. So we can now start whatever I want to do. So I go up. We go up by let's say 25. I double clicking 25, and I think the ceiling is done. So I'm going to delete all of these guides. We delete guides easily most of the time because it helps us to get our work clean and also confuse us with lots of lines on the scene. So the next thing I would like to do here is to begin to create something here that represents the light that we see underneath this cabinet. And how do I do it? I'm going to edit this group. I'm going to okay, let's say I'm going to create a line here, maybe 35 millimeters or so, a line that extends to the end of this cabinet, so that gets its own erase, clean this cabinet, bottom cabinet. Yeah. If you notice that it appears from this image, it appears that the light seems to be coming from something that has some kind of depth inwards here. The way it's pouring out, see the way it pours out, it shows that it seems there's something that has some kind of depth at the back of the cabinet. It is domiciled at the back of the cabinet and it has some depth inside there. So we are trying to see how to replicate that. So I'm going to use my push-pull tool, and then I'm going to take it in. exactly. I'm gonna take it in. Maybe let me take it in by 35 also, 35 millimeters. Is that okay? 35 millimeters. No. Let me take it in by maybe 25. Yeah. So that part is created, and then I'll try to see if I have any and delete any guide I haven't seen. So see that our space for our lighting here is created. And then we can bring all of that stuff out and go to our scene. So that our stuffs here are created already. Now it's time to start adding materials. Okay, materials to the wall, to the floor, to the cabinet. The thing is, our cabinets and the floor or the wall do not really have any material. They're just plain white. Yeah, and our ceiling just have a black outline, black material, and then I'll give an emissive color to the light inside. Same thing for the other two, and then I give an emissive color to at the bottom of our cabinet here to display that light for us. You understand? I think, and that's it. We are done with that. After that, so I'll start with the floor. Right now I'm not going to use this floor. I don't want to use this floor. I have some other floor idea, and I'll show you what I want to do. Maybe I have something else I'd like. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to use tile. I'll still use wood and laminate. And maybe okay. Let me use this parquet. Let me use this parquet also. Add to scene, it comes here. Add to selection. See? The moment I clicked add to selection, you see that it comes here already. It's a V-Ray material, and I can use here this point to assess, to know what I'm applying. Although this is, instead of using this V-Ray material, we can always go to use textures, or more photorealistic textures, or more textures, we can use different materials that are more photorealistic, that has higher definitions, you understand, so that when you render to the highest level, it doesn't lose the quality of the material. It doesn't flatten out, so to say, or so to speak. So, but for this tutorial, I'll just be using this V-Ray material. I like it, that's why I'm going to use it, and I've applied it to the scene. And the next thing we want to do, we want to start creating material for the walls. The same material is going to be for the cabinet, and then for the cracks here, we're going to give it normally it should be just plain white, but because we want to enhance the fact that there is a feature here for the opening, where the opening is for the cabinet, or where the hinges are, so to speak, we would be adding the material here, and then we add the material to the light, and then that's it. So let's get started with that. The first material I'm going to look at, I'll create a material and call it a general material. Material generic. I'm going to rename it, call it general material. Okay, what does it do? I'll change the color. It's going to be white. Our walls, our cabinets, the ceiling, white. It's going to be white. Yes. And you see, when you look at it, there's no reflection per se. There's no reflection on the cabinet. When you look at it critically, there's no reflection on the walls. So we'll leave it as it is. The next material to create is this black material here. So I'll create another material. I'll call it ceiling light. Sorry, I'll call it ceiling light disc. It's very, very important to label them so that you know which material is which. Very, very important. And I'll change the color to black or to near black. I don't want to have so much black in that scene. Yeah, something like this. And then another material that shows, I'm looking for a light material, emissive material, yeah, and maybe something like this. I'm going to rename it to ceiling light. I'll duplicate it and write cabinet light. Oh no, sorry. Cabinet light. And then the last one. Okay, the last one would be for the cracks in here. Okay, but I'm going to use the same material that I'm using for the ceiling light disc. This circular edges here, I'm going to also use it in here. So let's go. Close this. Okay, so let me take off the ceiling for now. Let me take off the ceiling. Where's the ceiling? Yeah, so it's gone. I'm going to group this also, and I'll call it ceiling lights. So material for the wall. So where you're gonna start? I'm gonna start adding the material for the wall. Ceiling light, no, general, yeah. So to make it faster, I'm gonna select every area that has and then I apply to selection. It's applied already. I come to cabinet. Let me take off the walls. Yeah, cabinet. We'll click everywhere. Make sure it applies. And then for inside, for these cracks here, I want to cabinet. Where is the cabinet light? Not cabinet light. Ceiling light disc, same color, right? So I'm going to be selecting every of them. So the first one. to select it easily and faster, just click on control. The moment you take hands off control, so I have selected all of that, and then I can easily apply to selection. See, when I apply to selection, it has become black. You see here on the right hand corner, it shows black already. It shows that color already. So it's easy. It will not necessarily be black. Maybe close to something like this. Yeah. So same thing we're gonna do here. I'm gonna first of all select for it. So the next thing we want to do is we want to do the same thing we did for the upper cabinet. Yeah. Another faster way to have done it, maybe while we create this, we have just made groups of them, and then we have just, instead of applying to selection, we would have applied to the tags. We group them and tag them, and then we would have easily applied to the tags, and then all of them would have gotten. That's for if you want to really be fast. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm trying to show everything in detail. See, I've mistakenly selected an edge, so I press the shift key here to unselect it, or sorry, to deselect it, and then to continue my work. And select light disk, apply to selection. So you see it's also applied here. So the last one I want to touch on is this. Yeah. Yeah. The top also. The reason why we are selecting these materials is so that we don't miss out on any. We don't miss out on any at all. So that we can actually apply to layer, whatever. I'm just trying to show how to apply to the first, how to do this thing like in a detailed way, not necessarily for speed. In upcoming videos, I'll be doing for speed. I'll be showing some other secrets to doing photorealistic render. So I think the thing that we can do to follow, you need to subscribe to this channel to be able to follow up with some of the videos that I'll be releasing, that teaches you how to do photorealistic renders, for you to be able to show your clients, to make your design stand out, to generally be happy with yourself and your improvement, to make more money in the process as well. So the selection also, and I think that's, yeah, it remains one. We haven't added this. Yeah, I think I did. So the second to the last group, cabinet light, we have to give it an intensity already, maybe intensity of 75. I don't know how it's gonna be like, but I'm gonna apply it on these two surfaces so that when they start glowing, it's gonna reflect. And this color, when you look at our image here, it's more of an orange color. Let's do that. Let's select the color right away. Yeah, something like this. Yes. If I show that 30, gonna be more orangey. So that's the color already been displayed here, cabinet light. So that's a light material. So the other, go to same one again. The last material should be at the ceiling. So I put off the walls this time around. And then the cabinet top for easy navigation. So I'm going to apply so apply the ceiling light disc, apply the selection. You see it has selected already. Then I click on this. I want to select all of them, the 3 of them, because that's where the light material is going to be also. 3 of them, ceiling light right, light selection, selected also. So right now, see, we are done. Let's click on save to save what we have done so far. So I'll start by going to render to see how it comes out. Well, first of all, we look at the lights in our scene. Right now we have just the sunlight, and I think that this is more than enough. When you look at this image, you see that some kind of a little bit greenish, very not so visible, but a little bit greenish, and I'd like to show that also. Go to this color range here. There's something, see this one here. So I've chosen. The intensity is at 1. So I think we are good to go for now. I think 800, okay, 800 by 450, that's fine. Environment, okay, the light is on, the sky, everything is on, environment is on. Progressive, I want it to be interactive, and I want interactivity to not be so high, maybe medium, and I think that's okay for now. So when I click on render, we can see what's going to happen. When you look at this, it's showing, you can see the tiny lights from the ceiling. You can see the shape of the sun from the glass. The lights under the cabinets, they already show you. Look at the cabinets and all of that. There's something that, see, what is the cause of, why is it so dark, what's happening? Let's go to rectify it. Stop the render. First of all, I don't like how wide this stuff is. I'm trying to see. Yeah, 2-point perspective. see. Okay, so our light here, sunlight. Okay, I'll change this to override. Let's look at environment. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to try to correct some of the settings, but first of all, I'll try to bring the window closer. I want to zoom this to see. I'll try to bring the window closer. Edit. Yeah, I just saw that I never grouped a window here, so I'm going to try to group it right away. I don't fall into, so that I can easily hide it and move the window that I want to move. A window, so exactly. These lines came when so I'll try to make this thinner. I'll do, and then move it. So I want to show how the window now is. was trying to adjust the window. And then go to the sun again. I think let me make this 75. You see that the light from the sun is quite sharp, but in reality the light from the sun is not this sharp. There's some kind of softness at the edge, and I'm still experimenting. I'm gonna use 75 for now and see how it comes out. So when I render, let me see how it goes. So our solar light is not coming through. There's a problem here. Everything else seems to be showing except our light from the sun. It's not showing as it should show. Then it means that there is a problem. And my best bet here is that the problem will likely come from this glass. Yes, let's check. To remove the wall, then let me remove the ceiling so that I'll see what I'm doing here. Edit group. You see, the problem here that was not allowing light to come through. Even though in our model we are seeing the sunlight inside of the model, but in render the light from the sun was not coming through because our diffuse color was dark. I'll show you again. When you render it again, you see that, no, sorry. Yeah, you see the glass here. The glass is dark. The cabinets are showing everything is going fine, but the glass is dark. Why? Because we had increased the thickness of this glass and we had applied, and now it became two-faced, right? We applied material on the other face, but we did not apply on the second face inside of the model. We didn't apply on this face, we applied at the other face. So that's the reason why it's that we're having the problem. And because we did not make our diffuse color for the glass to be white. We left it at black. It was not white. So just watch what happens when I go to correct this. You see that now it's black here, right? The diffuse color. I've increased it. You see that there's noticeable change. When you watch this glass, you see there's noticeable change. See that there's been some change. You can see the shadows, right? Oh, the shadows are actually there. But you see that there's noticeable change. This means that light can now pass through. Now let's make this render again. Put it back to the scene. Wow, what's happening? Yeah, so I'm wondering why we're having this result. Let me go to, I don't know why we're having this result, but I think I have an idea. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is what is going to happen right now. I go to my settings. Let me see what I have there. Okay, let's make this 13. Exposure value, right? The amount of light coming into the scene, 13. And let's go back to the sun. Okay, where's the render output? I have white screen here, right? I want to make it this is for an interior space. In fact, a singular interior space, not like a two-dimensional interior, a two-point perspective interior space. No, 1-point perspective interior space. So, and I don't think it really makes sense for us to use widescreen. What we would like to do also is that we'd want to make sure that our window is not showing in the eventual render. You know, to create like an image on the left hand side, to create this kind of value here, this kind of image. I would go for portrait. Yeah, go for portrait, and then I'll go to my sun. Let me see what's happening. Intensity multiplier, I'll go for 2 and see. You know, rendering is all about experimentation. So I would now render and see what happens here. Why is this showing this? Scene 1. Yeah, I put on a safe frame. I want to test something also. Yeah, I think it's coming out. Yeah, I think it's coming out. Oh, this light is too much. The intensity of this light is too much. I think I have to reduce the intensity of the light. Sorry, of that material, not the light. The cabinet light. Wow, it's at 75. Let's say a 50. And we can increase the transparency of the material so that it shows a diffusion somewhat from, like, it shows how the light travels from the point of where the main the light is. You see, we have more of it on this end, and then as it comes down, it dissipates as it comes down until it gets to this very point. So that's what we are trying to show here, and that's why I've done this transparency. And let's see how it comes out this time around. Okay, nothing that has to be done. Trying to play with the sun here. Trying to create what is here, right? So we know how it moves. Exactly. Settings. I think I want to do progressive, make it increase the quality of the render. I think I would like to increase the settings of this render, increase the quality, update effects at the end. When you look at our scene right now, you see that I've done, I did a couple of changes. I didn't want to waste our time because we are far gone. I increased this the window. I brought it higher. I increased the width a little. See, if you look up here at the shadow area, you see how I position my to match, and then to at the time of the day, in time of the day, I also changed it to almost 5:59 p.m. and for the view, I reworked on it. I edited how the view was going to be like. I mean, not anything out of this supernatural, right? I just kind of did some zoom in and zoom out, like this, so like that. So, and I got this point also. This is where my sunlight is right now. I did it this way because essentially from our image here, we see that this area is actually what is in darkness. So the light is bright from here to this part. So for me, I reasoned that it's best to position the sunlight at the middle here, so I can brighten the room. And I've reduced the intensity of the cabinet light. The cabinet light, I gave it the name so that I don't confuse it again. Intensity is 12. I increased the transparency. Okay, I increased the transparency of the cabinet light. This is supposed to be a light for the ceiling, but I've deactivated it for now so that I can continue what I'm doing. Now, once I try to, and yeah, let me go to my settings also to show you what I have there. So the settings is still the same. I went back to interactivity high, and exposure value, I made it 12 as before, still 12, and then I increased my image width and height. I deactivated the save frame, increased my image width and height, so that at least I could get 2K image, right? I could get 2K image, something that is clear and very clear and quality image without something at least up to this quality that we are looking for. The image on my left, up to this quality. So that is what I've gone ahead to do, and I'll go to render right now and see how it comes out. The rendering of the image that we had, this is what came out, right? The one on the right is what we rendered out, and the one on the left is the image that we got. You see the similarities, I was able to get this lightning effect because I used that. Instead of using filter, I used override in the sun settings. Instead of the filter, I selected override and it spread the light this way. You will notice that there is some kind of burn here. It's something that I can always correct. I'll try to correct it. But without even looking at it, if you're asked to look at this image, you would say that, wow, you would think that it's actually image of a house or something, or of a kitchen that is live. But this is something that we rendered by ourselves with our own hands, and I'm very, very proud that we're able to achieve it. Yeah, so I'll keep on uploading interesting videos like this. I'll keep on uploading how-to tutorials on how to create various kinds of images on SketchUp and V-Ray, and to show you the enormous power that SketchUp and V-Ray has. So see you next time. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, to share to your friends, to tell them about what we are doing here. And I look forward to providing or to creating much more informative videos like this. Thank you very much.